The world is changing all around us. I think we all know that. It is like nothing we've ever seen. It's at breakneck speed. We're going to talk about just a few of those things tonight. The world is shaking. They're scared. They're looking at America a little bit different than what they did just a couple of weeks ago. A lot of great things are happening. A lot of not so great things are happening. We're going to cover that and more tonight on The Big Picture. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and welcome the Queen in right now. She is in the house right now. She is here. Let's give her some love. Yes, yes.
I don't know if you can see, but I did bring a little Jesus tonight.
Oh, everybody needs a little Jesus. That's pretty
cool. We definitely need him tonight.
We definitely need him tonight. So go ahead and update everybody. How you feeling? You better? Because people's been wanting to check on you.
Tons better, okay? It's been a rough, 4 or 5 days. I've been hyped up on albuterol for several days. So I'm very glad to feel like I'm coming down off of that because that is annoying.
Well, I'm glad. I think everybody's glad to hear your voice coming back somewhat. It's not 100%.
Not 100%, but I definitely feel better, and I'm thankful. This is the most normal I've felt in several days. So
very good.
Great to be back with my Big Picture family.
Yes, yes. And haven't smashed the like button. You know the drill. Smash it, smash it. The smash alarm is on. Smash it. If you're watching us, you're not watching us on Facebook. You're only watching us on YouTube and Rumble and X. So wherever you're at, always give us some love. Show us some love. Don't cost you anything. Totally free of charge. Blue Light Special. Only old people know what that is. All right. So here we are, guys. It's unbelievable. Am I correct in saying that it has only been 2 weeks since Donald Trump's been president? Is that correct?
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I know.
It feels like 2 years.
4 months for me, but yeah, for real.
That's insane, y'all.
You need a scorecard to keep up with each and every day, or
that's true.
Some kind of playbook or something, because it is crazy.
And not only crazy what he's done, just the world is going crazy.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like things are happening in the world that are just. You wonder, you ask yourself, is this all because of Donald Trump? Well, we know it's not all because of Donald Trump. I think there's just something's happening globally. I think Donald Trump is an element of change. He certainly is that. He's certainly a disruptor. Right. And they don't know what to think about him. We're going to talk about the things that
come on. It is the Trump effect for sure.
It is.
But things that were hiding behind the trees or peeking out of the cave, thinking about sticking their toe out, they just came on out with the Trump effect. So it is across the board. It is around the world. It's happening.
Now, you and I did a show Friday night talking about, another plane crash, and this was the one in Philadelphia. Right. And, of course, we had covered extensively the horrible crash that happened just days ago in the Capitol with the collision, which we're going to show you a new video that came out.
And we're not even a week.
Not even
a week since that.
Yeah. And we're going to show you a new angle it just makes you wonder more and more that this could not have just been pilot failure. It just looks like it was some kind of targeted thing, maybe mind control, maybe hacked, maybe taken over.
Right.
It don't make sense. But
I'll tell you this: if you weren't a conspiracy theorist and you were trying to follow these accidents, I don't see how it wouldn't have made you.
Yeah.
Because between the videos, the comments on the videos, it's all over the place. And I've never really been one to get on X that much, but for the Friday night crash, I did. And wow, I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, as I say,
okay.
You go down that rabbit hole. I mean, X will mess you up.
Not even conspiracy.
No.
Just how raw.
Raw. I mean, because
pictures
there's no
videos.
There's no censorship.
It's just wow. Okay.
Yeah. You'll see things there that you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that we can't show here.
No.
Because it's just horrible.
It's very bad.
But let's go straight into the news tonight. There's a new video showing a new angle of the DC plane crash. It's crazy. People are saying there's no way. So let's read a little bit, then we'll watch it. There's a new angle of the DC plane crash making the rounds online, and it has people even more perplexed than they were before. This angle is downright scary, crazy, and it has people saying there's no way. And when you see it, you'll likely agree. So 3 pilots all watching. Remember, there's 3 pilots inside the inside the helicopter. How do you move every week? I mean, I have to adjust you every week. There you go. I mean, stay in the same place, woman.
Okay,
All right.
had my stuff set.
Okay. All right. So 3 pilots all watching. Most advanced tech on Earth. My car would dodge this. Great point. But let's watch this.
In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river.
Unbelievable.
So,
in a second video, you can see
right
the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
it's so troubling and so disturbing to me when you realize in an instant 67 people are gone.
Gone. I want to go back to this because I want to just show this second one right here, because this is the one that got me.
What is this image? What is this footage? Is this
What do you mean?
someone's car camera?
No,
what is this?
I mean,
What is this from?
it doesn't say. It
Okay.
doesn't say. It just says obtained by CNN, but it looks like maybe on a building. They're on a building.
Okay.
It looks like maybe a camera on the side of the building.
It looks like a camera high up.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
All right, but what I want you to notice, and I know it's a little difficult on your screen, depending on your screen size, but if you look at the skyline and when you see the words obtained by CNN, that's about where you're going to see the helicopter come in. The first night that we got this particular view, it was like close to the plane, and then you saw them collide. But when you see this view and you see how far it travels, and then you see the plane, it almost looks like they're going right towards each other. But when you see, how in the world can you go that far in a military helicopter and not see the plane? Let's watch this again.
In a second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
And the plane itself, I mean, the helicopters, when you look at the plane is very well lit up. It looks like a giant fireball before it ever got hit. You know, it was already shining like a fireball before it ever got hit. And I hate to use that word fireball because that's what it became, but it was, I don't know how you could miss that.
Very bright indeed.
So yeah, it goes on to say here, the plane was bright as the sun and they didn't see it. These are some of the comments that people are saying. Right. Doesn't seem to be any way that you wouldn't know that you were heading straight into a plane, praying that this was not subterfuge of some kind. We as Americans have no way of absolutely trusting whatever the official explanation may be, though we can put more faith in it than we did under the last regime. And then it says a 747 or an F-13 could have avoided that. You know, these are comments that are common sense comments. The helicopter looks to now be diving into the airplane as it's descending so it can achieve impact. Clearly this new angle has only sparked even more suspicion. The truly tragic part of all of this is this horrific accident was completely preventable.
Right.
And then there's this big discussion now over DEI, DEI hirings, and people are, you know, they're not wanting to deal with it. So what are your thoughts on what people are saying about DEI and how this could be responsible for it? And even Donald Trump has said he thinks it's tied to it.
Sure. Well, of course, if someone was hired under DEI protocols instead of some kind of strict structure of, are you actually qualified to do this job? Well, if that was the case, we could maybe see the outcome. I'm not saying it is. I know that's being tossed around. I know that her social media information and profile has been supposedly scrubbed.
Oh, scrubbed. It was completely scrubbed. Yeah.
Along with the fact that her identification was withheld from us for multiple days.
And the narrative was at the wishes of the family. Well, now it's coming out that during that time that we were not knowing the name, that's when the family supposedly scrubbed the social media, because it is being said that she was a very, very anti-Trump person. She worked in the Biden White House for 2 years, was an assistant to Biden for 2 years, wasn't even really involved in the military. She was working in the White House, and then she's flying this plane. And by the way, this was a practice run.
The helicopter.
Helicopter was a practice run for a what do you call it? Like an event, like a nuclear event that would happen, a catastrophic event that would happen. This
like a training drill?
No. I'm just telling you. They have said it was a training drill. This is not conspiracy. They have said this was a training drill for that.
And I'm just reiterating either a conversation we had or conversation we had on the show, The Big Picture, about how training drills can turn into false flag, and
many times
you can put a lot of things under false flag.
Yeah.
This is an event where people died, but there again, some people know and some don't that on 9/11 drills were going on. So when you hear the voice on the recording say, "Is this real world? Is this real world?"
Right.
This is what I've been told is because drills were happening at that exact time, supposed to be happening and going on, which is supposedly why that question was asked on 9/11.
And not to mention, on the night of this crash in D.C., there were supposed to be 2 flight controllers, one to handle the helicopters, one to handle the plane. But supposedly the narrative is the director gave the guy the night off, and there was only one handling both of them. So they're just all kinds of stories. But let's go back to this particular X here. This guy right here is very hated by the left. White House Deputy Chief Staff Stephen Miller is absolutely heartbreaking, and it's devastating is what he says, because it was so preventable. Over the last 4 years, the FAA and air traffic control under Joe Biden has been dedicated to a mission not of public safety, but of DEI. Let's listen.
Well, it's absolutely heartbreaking and it's devastating, but even more so because it's so preventable. As President Trump said today, over the last 4 years, the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, and air traffic control under Joe Biden have been dedicated to a mission not of public safety, not of safe aviation, but of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they've pushed an agenda trying to advance social engineering, political ideology, trying to hire people at the FAA who are not capable or competent for the job. And that completely changes the agency culture. It means instead of spending 4 years trying to solve these systemic problems, all these near misses, instead all that intellectual capital at the agency is spent trying to meet these programs and trying to fulfill these quotas. And that prevents the agency from developing the systems, closing the weaknesses, and establishing the protocols to prevent a tragedy like this from occurring. And it's why President Trump, on just his second day in office, issued an order to re-implement his previous standards and then to declare that all DEI is ending and the agency shall put competence, quality, and qualification above all other considerations. And that will be the rule going forward. But again, we've seen over 1,000 near misses in just the last year under the Biden administration. And we have jeopardized public security in a way that is unthinkable and tragic, Sean.
Over 1,000 near misses in 2024. Over 1,000 near misses in 2020. In fact, there was a near miss at that airport in that exact flight plan the night before of a helicopter and an American Airlines plane. The night before this happened. And thank you for the wonderful live chat. That's what the term I was trying to think of, continuity of government. Basically, that's, if everything goes down, these are training drills of how to keep the government going and how to get certain people and certain important people out.
Right.
And by the way, everything that I have seen is the woman that was held from releasing her name and everything. She was actually the pilot. She was the one that was actually flying the helicopter.
That's what I thought. But these DEI protocols, take it out of, flying aircraft, apply it to international relations, apply it to anything. You want the best candidate for every job.
Yes.
Whatever your responsibilities are to fulfill those. Because, if this is true, if this is what happened in this instance, and it could have been prevented.
Yeah, think about it.
67 people.
67 people. That's right. These are real human lives.
Right.
President Trump just eviscerated the FAA and blamed their incompetence on their DEI practices during his press briefing at the D.C. plane crash. Trump also called out pothole Pete Buttigieg. I hadn't heard him call that for a good line of something. Here we go.
Have more to say about that. I do want to point out that various articles that appeared prior to my entering office, and here's one. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them. They can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so. This was in January 14th, so that was a week before I entered office. They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program. Then another article, the Federal Aviation Administration. This was before I got to office, recently, second term. The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website. Can you imagine? These are people that are, I mean, actually, their lives are shortened because of the stress that they have. Brilliant people have to be in those positions, and their lives are actually shortened, very substantially shortened because of the stress, where you have many, many planes coming into one target, and you need a very special talent and a very special genius to be able to do it. Targeted disabilities are those disabilities that the federal government, as a matter of policy, has identified for special emphasis in recruitment and hiring. The FAA's website states they include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability, psychiatric disability, and dwarfism all qualify for the position of a controller of airplanes pouring into our country, pouring into a little spot, a little dot on the map, a little runway. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan. Think of that. The initiative is part of the FAA's diversity and inclusion hiring plan, which says diversity is integral to achieving FAA's mission of ensuring safe and efficient travel. I don't think so.
So let us be very, very clear.
Right.
I don't think he was saying, and certainly we as a big picture show will not ever endorse, persecuting, talking bad, making fun of, mocking someone because of a disability.
Not.
And that's not what that was. And that's what's being turned into. He was just pointing out, look, there are places in the FAA where people from all walks of life and every struggle can operate. Sure. But it said in the document they were wanting to hire all of these that was listed in the DEI initiative to be air traffic controllers. I mean, there are some things that require certain types of physical and or mental acuity to do the job, and you can't just put anybody in that job.
No, this is such a precision. Okay, there's not a lot of room for error here. We got to get this right. Yeah, you need the best candidate.
Absolutely.
We don't need to be making exceptions here. I mean, you, me, anyone who's flying,
I can't be
who's on an airplane. We're just, I guess, flying blindly, if you want to put it that way. We're in those airplanes just thinking they've done their due diligence. They're working really hard, doing the best for us up here, flying through the air in these airplanes. They're going to take really good care of us. No, your air traffic controllers are sus.
Sus. Yes.
Wow.
My goodness. Hey, if you hadn't smashed that like button, what are you waiting on? Smash it, smash it, smash it. We've got a good crowd coming in here tonight, starting off early. Another big thing that happened today is, people just don't like old Elon. They don't like Elon. He is just, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know how I feel about him.
Right.
One day I'm thinking, my God, he must be the greatest thing that's ever happened to politics. And the next day I'm like, oh, he's the Antichrist.
Definitely the Antichrist.
And he's about to take over the world and make us take a mark on our hand or our forehead. But the reality is this: Donald Trump brought him on. And honestly, I think he's one of the main reasons Donald Trump was reelected. I think when you put Musk and Joe Rogan in there, I think they were probably two big, huge factors. But he's in charge of this. What I guess it's not a cabinet position. It's something that was created called Doge, which just happens to also have a digital coin out there by the same name, owned by the same guy. So just saying, that's a little sus there too, I guess. But you know, one of the things that I have to give him credit for, that we got to give him big props for, is, dude, he is coming in and showing us and revealing things to us that have been going on for decades, that we just been going about our tiptoe through the tulip life.
Absolutely.
And not even realizing that our tax dollars are doing this.
Right.
And that's what this is about. I guarantee you there are some people on here that knew about it, but most people did not know anything about USAID.
No.
Okay. So USAID apparently is one of the biggest parts of government that exists. And nobody ever talks about it. USAID staffers told to stay home after Musk said Trump agreed to shut it down. There it is, USAID. Now, when you look at that, USAID,
right.
Let me tell you, this right here is perfect example of how the government operates. Yep. Would you not think, if that's all you saw was that this is the part of our government of the United States that provides aid?
Sure.
Would you not think that's what it is?
That would probably be my first thought, yes.
Well, guess what? AID does not stand for aid. I mean, it's the U.S. Agency for International Development. How tricky is that? Oh, I work for USAID. Oh, well, thank you so much for taking care of the people that's starving. No, it's not about that. Mm-hmm. It's called the Agency for International Development. Watch this. I'm going to show you a video in just a minute that I found. And it tells you exactly what was shut down today, because you need to know it, because you're not going to hear it on CNN. You're not going to hear it on MSNBC. And by the way, you're probably not even going to hear it on Fox News. Stay at home and don't bother to come into the office. That was the message the staffers of the U.S. Agency for International Development Monday were instructed to stay out of the agency's Washington headquarters. The advice came with a notice distributed to the career bureaucrats. AP reports, after Elon Musk announced President Donald Trump had agreed with him to shut the agency down. Y'all, this is insane. According to AP, USAID, and it's just so tricky, so deceptive.
Right.
Staffers said that there also tracked more than 600 employees who reported being locked out of the agency's computer systems overnight. Those still in the system received emails declaring, at the direction of the agency leadership, the headquarters building will be closed to agency personnel Monday, February 3rd. The shutdown came in the wake of Musk, who's leading a civilian review of the federal government with the Republican president's agreement, revealing early Monday that he had spoken with Trump about the six decade. I want to say that again. About the 6-decade-old agency that he had agreed to shut it down. I want to know in the live chat in the comments right now, before this came out in the news today, how many of you knew about a 6-decade department of our government called USAID? And the second part of the question is the most important question. If you did know that it exists, did you know that it has nothing to do with aid? Okay, so let's watch this right here. Now, it's a big article here, but I think what would really help us is to go here. No, that's not it. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it first. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. All right, so this is the video here, and then we're going to go back. All right, so this is a 3.5 minute video. We're going to watch most of it because I want you to know what was shut down. This is what was shut down, and this is what's being evacuated.
So what is USAID? When people hear the name USAID, they focus on aid. They focus on thinking like it's humanitarian work. But aid is not actually in the name of USAID. USAID stands for the United States Agency for International Development, not aid. It's not a charity. And international development is simply capacity building. It is local and regional capacity building done across the whole world, i.e. internationally. The primal id in USAID, international development, is about capacity building of assets that can be used by either the Pentagon, the State Department, or the CIA for their own activities.
Wow.
So if you're the Secretary of State and you were asked by the National Security Council or the President to do something in a different country, overthrow their government, stop the passage of a bill in a foreign country's legislature, how would you do that? And the first thing that I said is you would look at the assets that already exist in the country. Do we need new assets in addition to the ones that we currently have, or are the existing assets, can they achieve this simply by giving them enough money, giving them enough resources, giving them enough training, giving them enough support? One of the main ways that capacity building would be financed would be through USAID. USAID would say that it's doing something, funding a hospital system, funding universities, funding civil society organizations, funding media institutions, funding independent media in the region. Sorry, it's something in my eye. Independent media in the region on USAID payroll. And those institutions, those assets, would then be bigger and more powerful and more capable, more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests. USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department, over $50 billion.
Okay.
It is a bigger budget.
Did you hear that? The USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department. Keep that in mind. Than the State Department.
Than the CIA. The entire intelligence community only has about 70 capacity, more capable of serving the State Department's goal, aka advancing U.S. national interests. USAID has a bigger budget than the State Department, over $50 billion. It is a bigger budget than the CIA. The entire intelligence community only has about 72 billion. So that's the CIA plus the 16 others. And USAID has a bigger budget than the CIA and is almost the size of the entire intelligence community combined. That is how important USAID is to American statecraft. It is an intelligence community, a State Department, and a Pentagon assistance organization rolled into one. I just copied this from the USAID website. USAID carries out U.S. foreign policy, advances U.S. national interests by promoting broad-scale human progress. At the same time, it expands stable, free societies, creates markets and trade partners for the United States, and fosters goodwill abroad. The operative phrases here are carries out U.S. foreign policy. This is not charity work. This is not aid. This is cynical, self-serving purposes. And what is it seeking to do? Free societies, open societies. Why does USAID want other countries to be open societies? Because that's how you get the influence in. If a country is a closed society, they're closed off from USAID influence. We cannot capacity build our assets there. Closed societies box USAID out. China is a closed society. That is why we have not been able to topple the government of China, despite having tried for 100 years now almost. We have not been able to topple Putin from Russia. Why? Because Russia is a closed society. Like China, they kicked USAID out. It is not an open society. And so the USAID can't just take over their entire media ecosystem by funding 100 different media propaganda outlets in the region to sway hearts and minds. And remember, that's what this is. It's hearts and minds and cash. That's what soft power is. They call it hearts and minds work, but it's cash that does the moving of those hearts and minds, especially of the leaders of the movements.
I'll bet.
Y'all, that's crazy. USAID has nothing to do with aid. It has a bigger budget than the intelligence in the State Department.
How, I hate to say, how has no one uncovered that? I'm sure they have. How was you? We've never heard anybody talk about this. This is
crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's been in place for 60 years. 60 years. And basically what the video was saying is it funds going into an open society that's not like China and Russia, and taking over the influence of social media, the school systems, the hospitals, all these kind of things, pushing money in and influence in to change and regime change and all this kind of stuff, and try to do what they do to us. Bring a narrative.
Yeah. I think we can all understand a little better now why he wanted to make an external instead of worrying about the internal revenue service. We're just going to make an external revenue service.
Exactly. The tariffs. And we're going to get to that tonight because the tariffs working. But let's go back to this. Let's don't get off this USAID yet, because this is going to give you an idea. All this talk that we've been talking about Ukraine since we've been on the air, since this war. Watch this right here. USAID granted over 20% of its foreign aid budget to just one country. Anybody want to know what country? Ding, 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 ding. The U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, dispersed over 20% of its foreign assistance funds to Ukraine. According to data published by the federal government, Ukraine received more than $16 billion out of the $72 billion distributed by the agency. Ethiopia received the second highest allocation at just $1.7 billion. So Ethiopia, which is a country that's in civil war and is also a country that is starving, got $1.7 billion, and Ukraine got $16 billion, but that's not what they got. That's just what they got out of USAID. I mean, they got over $100 billion, which we're going to get to that in just a minute. And then it goes on to say, then you look at all the comparisons of the funds granted to Ukraine. In addition to Jordan, Afghanistan, Somalia received just over $1 billion. Meanwhile, Congo, Syria, Nigeria, Yemen, and South Sudan received aid ranging from $740 million to $936 million. So we see the money laundering. Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. Yep. The money laundering thing that is known as the Ukrainian war. And if you don't believe it's a money laundering thing, what about this, Sandy? This was straight from the horse's mouth. Vladimir Zelensky.
I nearly fell out of my chair.
Unbelievable. Now, it's not in English, but we're going to show it to you. But this is what he said in English in an interview this week. I don't know where all the money is. This money is. Vladimir Zelensky says Ukraine only received about $75 billion of the $177 billion that we said we sent. Not that we just pledged, that we said we sent. In an interview that hasn't even seen half of the nearly $200 billion, he says, in foreign aid the United States has sent to Ukraine since the war broke out with Russia. Let's see if I got the video here. I think this is it.
I want to be clear.
No, that's not it.
We're not.
But this is in the last days of the Biden administration. I think this might have been the last couple of weeks. Listen to what he says here from the Oval Office.
I want to be clear. We're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770.
All right, so I played that, and this is in here to just point out the fact that $770 is all they got.
Right.
$750 is all that Maui got. $700 is all that North Carolina got. But then you get all the way down here. Let's see if I've got it. I hope it is. Let's see. Is this it? I think this is it.
Дивіться.
So I'm going to take the sound off because I'm going to read it. Look, what I hear and I heard before, and today we hear from the United States of America. Let's see if he says anything.
Україні сотні мільярдів.
No. So that America gave Ukraine hundreds of billions, 177 to be more precise. That's what the exact figure sounded like, which was supported and voted on by the U.S. Congress. Look, as the president of a warring country, I tell you, we received just over 75. And then he goes on to say, that is 100 billion of the 177 or 200. Some people even say we have never received. And this is important because we are talking about specific things. Because we got it not with money, but with weapons. We got 70-something billion worth of it. There is training, there's additional transport, and there are not only prices for weapons. Y'all, the Ukrainian language is a long language. Come on, buddy, get it out. Are you still saying that? There were humanitarian programs, social, etc.
Right.
But when they say Ukraine during the war received $200 billion to support the army, etc., that is not true. I don't know where all the money is.
Whoa. Oh.
Do we know where the money is? Does anybody know where the money is? Is it in Delaware?
Well, we knew that we felt strongly that there was laundering going on, but to this level,
that's insane, y'all.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I don't.
Do you think he would have ever even said that if Biden was still the president? No way.
Probably not.
No way, because that was his money cow.
Yes.
But y'all, he's now feeling compelled to say that. I think for a couple of reasons. I think one of the main reasons is he understands that what funding I was still promised, I'm probably not going to get. But I'm going to show you something here. President Trump is the ultimate business guy, y'all. Did you hear what he said? What he come out today and said what he wants from Ukraine? Have you heard that yet?
I did not.
All right. So I don't know if y'all have heard this here. Watch this right here. President Trump come out today and said he wants a guaranteed right to Ukraine's rare earth minerals.
Okay.
At least to the amount of aid the U.S. provided in war. So let's watch this little video here, and then we're going to go back and watch something. Watch it.
We're telling Ukraine they have very valuable rare earth. We want what we put up to go in terms of a guarantee. We want a guarantee. We're handing them money hand over fist. We're giving them equipment. European is not keeping up with us. They should equalize. And look, we have an ocean in between. Okay. They don't. It's more important for them than it is for us. But they're way below us in terms of money. And they should be paying at least equal. They should really be paying much more than us. But let's say equal to us. And they're billions and billions of dollars below. So we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things. We're telling Ukraine. So
let's get some art of the deal going here.
Exactly.
Let's work this out.
So let's talk about Ukraine real quick. Let's hit it pretty fast here. The pretty huge considering what's there and what it's worth.
It is rich.
Lithium. Over 500,000 tons is believed to be of lithium, which of course is used for batteries, EVs. Titanium. Ukraine has the largest titanium reserve in Europe.
I got some on my knee right now.
About 7% of the world's reserves. It's used in space, medical, implants, and automotive. Zirconium, significant reserves. Zirconium is used in nuclear reactors, chemical processing, and alloys. Beryllium, found in some deposits. Beryllium is used for alloys in aircraft, missile parts. Gallium, present in Ukraine, used in semiconductors. Uranium. Ukraine has a notable uranium deposit. Rare earth elements, including elements like lanthanum, cerium, neodymium, and others. These are used in high-tech appliance applications like magnets for electric motors, wind turbines. Ukraine has approximately $11.5 trillion worth of these minerals.
Wow.
And Trump said, you know what? I'm not saying we'll stop giving you money, but before we ever give you any money, we want some of them minerals to pay us back at least and give us rights. Dude, that's the art of the deal.
Love it.
What in the world are we seeing happen?
Yeah.
The
common sense.
Hey, you know, that's what he's been saying. He goes, look, I'm just common sense. That's he's using that word.
Exactly.
Are we going to can we have a country of common sense? Is that even possible anymore?
Well, it's such a foreign thing that I think a lot of people are having problems even processing it, and we know the other side is having a complete meltdown.
Did you? I don't have it tonight, but did you see when they voted for the new chairman of the Democratic Party and the vice chairman? Oh my goodness! They did the first vote, and after the first vote, the acting director came up there and said, "Per our rules, we did not have enough people that were transgender in the first round, so we have to abolish everything and do the vote again so we can have."
I did see a little bit of that.
Yeah. So saying on the DEI here, because that's what everybody's talking about and everybody's upset about, and it's really crazy. But American families have to struggle to make ends meet, while USAID, we're still in that vein there. That's USAID that nobody knew about. I looked over at the live chat, y'all, and I saw no, none. Never heard of it. No. It's been around for 60 years, and it has nothing to do with aid.
Oh.
Is that not the epitome of deception?
Yes.
Oh, how dare you shut down a department called USAID? Well, it don't stand for aid.
Yeah.
American families struggle to make ends meet while USAID throws $32,000 at a transgender comic book. This girl right here, she's 27 years old, and she is beast mode, y'all. Listen to what she just walked out on the White House lawn and said. I know what y'all been reporting on, but let me tell you what we're talking about.
And here's the reason why Elon Musk and others have been taking a look. Because if you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
What do you think about her? 27 years old.
Is she 27 or 29?
I think she's 27.
Really, that doesn't matter.
I think she's 27.
She is tough. I like it.
She don't put up with nothing.
Yeah.
She called them out. She'll turn that question on them. And by the way, not trying to just continuously beat up the previous administration, but she don't walk to the podium with a binder,
and read from a binder.
And she don't read from a binder. She answers the questions looking at you eye to eye.
Yes.
What a difference. Now, the first person that was confirmed in his cabinet was Marco Rubio. He's now the Secretary of State. So he takes his first trip to do something that people laughed when they heard it. Just like they laughed at the Gulf of America. Right. Guess what Google just changed the Gulf to? The Gulf of America. Do you know America? It just comes out that way.
America.
I wish you'd just call it the Gulf of America. Apostrophe America. But Mexico is suing Google because they changed the name on the map. Google's like, listen, it'll still be called the Gulf of Mexico when you go to Mexico. But we have to obey the rules because the Department of Interior and all that are already changing it. It's being called that. Pilots are even saying, I've seen videos of people on planes going, ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot. If you look out to the right, you will see the beautiful Gulf of America. Wow. I mean, it's there. So in addition to that, the crazy thing that everybody thought this is just him talking crazy. He's like, we're going to go down there and we're going to get the Panama Canal back. And everybody's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. We gave it away for $1. Come on. There's no way. So what does Marco Rubio do on his very first international trip?
Right.
He goes to Panama. Secretary of State goes there, and in less than just a few hours of being there, he is now saying a couple of things. One of the first things he said before he ever talked about the Panama Canal is that, I don't know if you know this, he's now the acting director of USAID. While he was in Peru.
I thought that I had read that as well. We're going to shut it down. No, we're not going to shut it down. Yeah. We're going to give it to Rubio.
We're going to give it to Rubio. You know why? Because the proposal is that USAID is going to merge with the State Department.
Good.
And he is going to be the leader. He's saying that while he's in Peru. Okay. So that's interesting. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrives El Salvador International Airport, welcomed by Foreign Minister Alejandra Gil Tinoco, and he's making a trip not just to Panama, but also Honduras, El Salvador, and different places here. But he's now the acting director of USAID. Now, let's go back to the Panama Canal, if I can find that article here.
Someone says they're on Google Maps and it still says Gulf of Mexico.
It's not changed officially. They've said they're going to change it.
It's going to happen.
But they have to wait until it is actually in the paperwork of the Interior Department. Google has come out and said that they will take care of it. They will change it, but
we need to keep checking.
Yeah, you need to keep checking because you're right. We can't trust them to say that. Where's my thing about the Panama Canal? Okay, here it is. All right, here we go. So let's go here to this. Marco Rubio succeeds in convincing Panama to exit the Belt and Road Initiative with China. And that's how they had control over Panama, is because they were, like they're doing in so many other countries. They're coming in, doing all this infrastructure work and saying, in return, give us access to your ports, give us access to all this other stuff. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio succeeded in convincing Panama's president, Jose Raul Molino, to opt out of renewing its agreement with China regarding the Belt and Road Initiative. Milano confirmed on Sunday, after meeting with Rubio during his visit to Panama, that Panama would not be renewing the BRI agreement. Panama became the first Latin American country to sign on to the Belt and Road Initiative in 2018, a year after Panama cut diplomatic ties with Taiwan. In 2017, China scored a major victory when Panama cut diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Think about that. The self-governing island that China slams as its territory and recognized Beijing instead. Panama had been one of the few countries worldwide to recognize Taiwan as a sovereign state. The following year, in return, as a favor, Panama became the first Latin American country to sign on to the Belt and Road Initiative, the Chinese leader Xi Jinping's signature global infrastructure program, which is aimed at enlarging China's geopolitical heft and countering American influence. So let's watch this right here. Let's click on this and see if this is a video. I don't know if it is or not. Let's see. But yeah, this is not a video. But this further tells you what happened. Y'all, that was an incredible thing that happened, because now that doesn't mean that, he went down there and now we got control of the Panama Canal again.
No.
But the whole purpose of what Donald Trump was talking about is taking it away from Chinese control.
Right.
And Rubio was walking around. You need to find that video, y'all, and watch it. He's walking around, and the reporters are walking around, and there are tens of thousands of Chinese, just nothing but Chinese, in the entire sections. And there's a whole part of the Panama Canal. Now, I've been to the Panama Canal. It was just an incredible thing to see. I went on a missions trip to Panama. Right. And the last day after the mission trip, we said, always gives us a fun day. And the fun day was, let's go to the Panama Canal. So we went to the Panama Canal. I stood on top there and watched the water come in. It was an incredible thing. Watched the ships come in. I thought, my goodness, a lot of people are not blessed to see something like this. This is incredible. But while we were there, I remember they were building on the other side a new canal. They were cutting a new canal. And they didn't tell us that it was China that was cutting that canal, that they were getting ready. So I've seen video, and on the other side of that other canal is just thousands and thousands and thousands of containers. And all of these containers all have Chinese writing on it. The entire thing is Chinese. And that's what Donald Trump is talking about. So if we go to war, if there's a world war that we got, look, that's why we made the Panama Canal. That's why we as a nation built it. And tens of thousands of people died in the construction, so that we don't have to go all the way around to get to the other side.
So how many people died?
It was like 20-something thousand, 23,000 people, I think. Maybe 30-something thousand people. I'm sure they'll look it up on the live chat, but it was tens of thousands of people that died in the construction of that. So y'all, that's insane right there. So what do you think is going to happen to the Panama Canal?
If it continues the way it's looking right now, then we will get control back of it.
I don't think Donald Trump was saying we're gonna take 38,000. They're saying died. 33. Somebody said 33. Somebody said 38. So he was in 30 something.
Oh, that's awful.
And so I don't know if we'll ever be able to take back like what we had it before what Jimmy Carter did. But I don't think that's really what Donald Trump, y'all, he is proving that he goes all in and says everything crazy that you can say, and then comes back and negotiates.
Right.
And so I think ultimately what he's trying to say is we need China out. We need our hands back in what's going on down there.
His ultimate fear, don't you think, is they're going to shut us out?
Yes, absolutely. That's what it is.
So we definitely cannot allow that to happen. So we've got to get back in there and do whatever we have to do to at least level the playing field out. Do you think China is trying to build an even wider,
It was a bigger, when I was there, the new canal was bigger to handle bigger boats.
Exactly.
Because they told us while we were there that there are boats now that cannot come through the canal.
Big, right.
They're too big.
They're too big. So, of course, they're going to remedy that problem. But probably they have some really bad intentions for us to shut us out, to keep us from accessing and using. And we can't allow that to happen. No way.
Can't have that happen.
No.
So here's another thing. All right, this is what I'm talking about how Trump, when the art of the deal apparently is, okay, we're going to go crazy, and I'm going to say the craziest thing. I'm going to do the craziest thing possible, but I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm not backing up, and that's what he did. He said immediately, as of February 1st, he said we're going to put tariffs on China, 10%. We're going to put 25% tariffs on Canada and 25% tariffs on Mexico.
Right.
So that began this week. Round of tariffs against China, Mexico, and Canada. Mexico and Canada respond with their own tariffs. Now, after many threats and warnings on the campaign trail to levy tariffs on the number of different countries, President Trump today, this was a couple of days ago, announced the first wave of tariffs against China, Mexico, and Canada, with most emphasis placed on Mexico, blamed for the immigration and drug crisis, the fentanyl crisis. Mexico immediately responded with its own tariffs against the United States. And so did that tough guy, Trudeau. Boy, did you see? He goes, immediately today, we are going to retaliate with our own 25% tariffs. Take that, Mr. Trump. I mean, that's the way he sounded. It was like, I was like, dude, you are such a...
why is he still here?
What? Yeah, what happened to resigning?
When are you leaving?
When are you leaving?
You sound like all those crazy liberals that were going to leave the country if Trump was elected, but yet they're still here.
They're still here.
Along with you.
Yeah, exactly. So let's build towards the ultimate thing to tell you tonight. Canadians are furious. Trump is challenging our sovereignty. This woman right here is evil. Y'all, this is the woman that came after the truckers. This is the woman that froze their bank accounts. She laughed in the face of those that were trying to come against the mandates. She thinks she is the next prime minister in all of this, and so does CNN. So this was before this evening. This was early this morning, before she realized that they were going to kiss the ring as well.
A front runner to take his job. Christopher Freeland, when you look at this situation where the United States is basically levying tariffs on its closest allies.
This is tough talk in Canada. Listen to this woman. She thinks she can talk tough to America.
Particularly Canada, really its oldest ally. Does it make you think Canada is going to have to make its way in the world and find new markets and new friends? And of course, China, the second largest economy, comes up when one thinks about this?
Fareed, we have so many friends and even family members in the United States. Our preference and our hope is that you guys are going to come to your senses. Our preference and our hope is that we can go back to a win-win North American partnership. I mean, currently our trade should be governed by the USMCA, which we negotiated with President Trump. When we signed that deal, he said it was the best trade deal ever. So what we really want is for all the Americans who are listening to say, what the heck is going on? You mean we're fighting with the Canadians? And to get back to a reasonable, mutually beneficial relationship. That is our preference.
And when you have thought about this thing, you've talked about 100% tariffs on some things. You talked about a boycott of American goods, which would be not a formal legal thing, but you're just urging Canadians to stop buying American goods when they go to grocery stores. Is it also, are you also thinking in your proposals of doing something on oil? You know, we import a lot of oil from Canada.
Oh yeah.
Fareed, I'm glad you mentioned the boycott because that is already happening across the country. Americans have to understand how hurt and frankly how furious Canadians are.
Okay.
I'll tell you what would help her and help this whole situation. If we could get an in-person meeting with her and Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness.
This would be epic, right?
That would be gold.
And she could talk about how hurt the feelings are.
Yeah.
And I could hardly wait to get his response on that.
What about the families that are hurt and devastated and will never be the same because you allowed fentanyl to come across into our country and take the lives of their family members? You're hurt. You're hurt and offended.
Our sovereignty is being challenged. And so, yeah.
What about our sovereignty? What about borders? What about our sovereignty?
Very good. Good point.
Regular Canadians across the country are coming up with ways to stand for Canada, to fight for Canada, to defend Canada, but mostly to say to our American neighbors, guys, just cut it out.
Just cut it out. What do you think? We're in the 5th grade? I mean, we're K-5?
Exactly.
I want to say to my American friends, just cut it out.
Just cut it out.
We're hurting. Just cut it out. Come to your senses.
This is a terrible idea. And yes, we are going to use all the tools in our toolbox. You mentioned a little bit earlier how the United States depends on China for critical minerals and metals that you need for semiconductors, that you need to build electric vehicles. Well, guess who also produces those? Canada. You depend on us for a lot, and we are happy to work together. But it's got to be a two-way street.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm scared. I'm so scared.
I'm scared for her, is what I'm scared for. I can hardly wait for the rebuttal comments. Wow. Okay.
Oh, goodness. So, and by the way, Mexico did the same thing. Mexico came back with a 25% tariff. And then Canada came back with a 25% tariff. And they both talked big.
Yeah.
Before both presidents had a phone call with Donald Trump. And they both had a phone call with Donald Trump today.
Okay.
Now, you heard what this woman said.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, America, come to your senses because quit hurting us. Quit hurting us. Our feelings are hurt. We thought we could do anything to you and you would still give us billions of dollars. Phone call's over with. Donald Trump hangs up. The president of Mexico and Trudeau go to X and make posts. Y'all, Mexico now says, I can't even believe I'm reading this. They are sending troops to secure the border to avoid the Trump tariffs. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to send 10,000 troops today to their northern border, our southern border, on their side, as one of the ways to stop a 25% tariff from the Trump administration temporarily. The concession comes after days of grandstanding by the Mexican president, who publicly claimed that she would stand up for her country's sovereignty. But on Monday morning, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Mexico had agreed to send these troops. And this, of course, is posted on his something called Truth. And he also copies it to X as well. Let's read it. He says, I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation, wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers were specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries.
Okay.
So we go from 25% tariffs on America to who you think you are talking to us like that, to, okay, we'll send 10,000 troops. Please, please, please. We'll try to stop the fentanyl. We'll try to stop the illegal immigrants coming across. That's our southern border. Well, he gets off the phone. He picks up the phone again, and he calls Mr. Trudeau. Hello, Mr. President. No, it didn't sound nothing like that. It was like, hello, Mr. President. This is Mr. Trudeau. Well, I called you with a huge call. This is a huge call. It's going to be the hugest call that you've ever taken. Got to work on that.
Yeah.
And he says, what can I do for you, Mr. President? He said, well, let me just tell you, you know, you're talking big. And you and I both know little Trudeau, little Castro. You and I both know mini Castro that you ain't gonna do nothing. So let's work out a deal. I got a lot of stuff going on. Can we make this fast? Yes, sir, Mr. Trump. Yes, sir, Mr. Trump. I'll go to X right now. Breaking. We just covered this, and tonight, Canada has come forth and said they will be implementing $1.3 billion immediately to secure our northern border, reinforcing the border with choppers, technology, and personnel.
Wow.
They will also appoint a fentanyl czar, list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering.
Wow.
Trudeau has also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and Canada will be backing it with another $200 million. Tariffs will be paused for 30 days to give Canada a chance to implement their new plans.
This is amazing.
What in the world is happening? What did he say on that call?
Exactly.
What did he tell him?
He must have photos and videos or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to be more than just he made a quick call. He had to say, hey, look, we can sit here and talk and everything, but before we go any further, let me just tell you what I know. Okay? This is what I know. This is what my people know. You and I, hey, keep it between us. But, y'all, I can't control everything that leaks out of the White House. So, Mr. Trudeau, this is what I need.
Can't be responsible for certain things. Wow.
That's crazy. Two nations, our border nations, that has been responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths.
What did Homan say? Border crossings are down 93%.
93% in 2 weeks, southern border crossings are down. But here's the thing. What people need to understand about Canada. 70% of the terror watch list terrorists that were apprehended came across the Canadian border. And here's another thing about what happened in Canada. The cartels realized it was so lucrative. It is very well known. That's why he said he agreed to declare them as terrorists. The cartels have now moved into Canada as well and have operations set up in Canada and are sending their stuff across from Canada.
And they're so chummy with China up there. Who knows how many Chinese bad actors have come across the northern border.
Exactly.
So much stuff.
Y'all, this is crazy. I mean, it just keeps coming.
In the process of, making changes and some good things happening, we're realizing just how bad some things that were going on were.
Yeah. And speaking of how bad things are and how the status quo does not want to be messed up. The LAPD last night, I don't know if y'all saw this, they blocked some of the biggest highways out there, the pro or anti-deportation groups, anti-Trump. LAPD surrenders streets to Mexican flag waving protesters. Now, I was following this live last night, and this was a very shocking development. Independent journalists report that the LAPD officers pulled back and surrendered the streets to Mexican flag waving protesters Sunday night. Early reports showed the LAPD in riot gear, carrying zip ties, and getting ready to start arresting protesters, blocking the city streets. Then they got, this is when the LAPD started moving on the protesters. They started going forward, and it started being reported on X that they were about to start arresting them. Zip ties in their hands, riot gear, and in a matter of moments, they all left. Look, does this look like they're getting ready to? They're pushing them back. They're trying to clear the streets. Now, and it goes on to say, the LAPD were about to make arrests. All of the police officers just left. I've never seen anything like this. Hundreds of police officers with zip ties, all of them just left. No arrest. Protesters shout in victory as the police leave the area. Left them to block the streets. Where is ICE? Look at the police just leaving. So many people are saying the mayor of Los Angeles made the call and said, not on my watch. You're not doing this. Get out. And they left. No arrests were made, and the protesters celebrated their victory.
Wow.
As surrendering officers drove away from the scene. LAPD rank and file who were down there are saying they were not happy about this apparent stand-down order, quote, same old crap, quote, chasing these guys around all day for nothing.
Going to have some of the same demoralization that you've had at the border. If police officers are told not to do their job.
Yep. But it's not just there.
No, I'm sure.
This was Dallas last night.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know this is going to be construed as hate speech, but here's my question.
This is a tough story.
This is a tough story. Here's my question.
Yeah.
You are in America.
Right.
Many of them are probably illegal, right there in the camera. But you are in America. Legal or illegal, it doesn't matter. You are chanting Mexico. There is not an American flag to be seen. You are waving all Mexico flags. You are chanting Mexico and protest. Apparently, you do love Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But you are protesting having to go back there and live. Why are you chanting Mexico? You know what? I think you would might win some hearts and minds if you were chanting USA. Don't make us leave the great USA. But you are not chanting USA. Right. You are chanting Mexico. You are flying Mexican flags and you are protesting going back to Mexico. And I know what some people's going to label that as, but that's not what this is. I'm asking the question, why do you not want to go back? So you got, this is in Dallas. You keep scrolling. Look, Dallas streets were taken over. Mm-hmm. All Mexican flags, multiple streets taken over. But then you get down here and you see Atlanta, Los Angeles, San Diego, Houston, New York City, Times Square. That was just a few of the ones that X was sharing that were blocking the streets,
right,
chanting Mexico, waving Mexican flags, and taunting the police, hoping and praying that the police would attack them, because then that gets the video.
Sure.
That's what we're dealing with.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. We have, if you want to use the word, fostered this kind of environment when we don't encourage assimilation. And we've had so many immigrants come, and yeah, it's great. They've enriched this country, but they've not really tried to assimilate into America. And here, this great chasm is being formed here. I mean, it's been there, but it's being magnified so much worse than ever before.
Absolutely. And in addition to what the president of Mexico came out and said they were going to do to stop the tariffs, lo and behold, today the Mexican government announced the arrest of a top cartel commander right after Trump's phone call. So my question is, why did you not already arrest him?
Right.
Why? Okay, so that's what's going on here. This is him. They're showing video, and we know what they're doing. They're making a show. They actually did something similar to this the last Trump presidency, but then they back off. They were just trying to save face, but I don't think he's going to let them back off this time. But in addition to that, look at how Lindsay's reporting here. Mexican cartels are preparing for war with U.S. military.
Hal Turner.
What did I say?
Hal Lindsey.
Oh, Hal Lindsey. Oh, bless us. Is Hal Lindsey gone?
I think he's no longer with us.
I think he just left. Hal Lindsey, what a legend. What a legend.
Absolutely.
But look, this is blurry pictures and video here, but these are military armored vehicles. They're all former special agents, special ops there in Mexico. Cartels inside Mexico, which handle illicit drug smuggling and illicit human trafficking, are openly preparing for what they call war with the United States military. In a video released by the cartels, dozens of heavily armed, significantly equipped cartel soldiers say they are ready to do battle against the armed forces of the United States to protect their drug and human trafficking operation. Here is a short video here. Look at those vehicles. This is drug cartel. This is not the military.
No. They got the good stuff. They got all the money.
Pura gente, señor Mencho. Pura gente, señor Mencho. Señor Mencho. Pura gente, señor Mencho. Pura gente del señor Mencho. Puro grupo Elite. Pura gente del señor Mencho. Grupo Elite. Pura gente del señor Mencho. Puro grupo Elite. Puro grupo Elite. Pura gente del señor Mencho. Pura grupo Elite. Puro del señor de los gallos.
So they're trying to do a show of force there, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to intimidate the American soldier. And we have gone to the border. We have taken military personnel to the border. Yeah.
Well, okay. So you're talking about their leader. Well, there's probably a lot of corrupt government officials.
Oh yeah.
The cartels have so much money, so much power. They obviously have nice vehicles and probably plenty of weapons to defend themselves.
I mean, I'm convinced they're much more heavily armed than the Mexican military. They are probably more equipped than the Mexican military. And many of them are high-profile Mexican special ops military that got offered, hey, look, we pay you like 10 times the amount of money. Come over and work for us. Don't defend your country. Defend our interests there. And by the way, for those that think this is all about fentanyl, do you know fentanyl and drugs are no longer, and cocaine are no longer the number one profitable product?
Or guns.
Or guns. It is
human trafficking.
People. Right.
Yeah.
Children.
Of course.
People. That is the number one money-making thing from all the cartels. That ought to tell you how deep this goes, that they're willing to fight in a military war, to have the right to traffic human beings and send deadly drugs across here. Now, something I think was really, really good that happened today. I think it was today. Today, I believe, is the 2-year anniversary of East Palestine, the horrible train derailment that basically destroyed East Palestine. It'll never be the same. It was completely abused and ignored and neglected by the previous administration. So East Palestine residents today are still concerned, frustrated 2 years after the toxic train derailment. Now, the reason I said something good happened today is today Vice President J.D. Vance went there and was able to see his estate. And in fact, when he was a senator, he went there. And he was one of the leading voices that revealed the toxic water. And I thought that I had video, but it's not. Look here. It says, it's not normal. These are people here. Before the disaster, right. East Palestine was a united town. Since then, it has become divided. Some people are frustrated by the lack of transparency, delayed compensation, and lingering questions about the community's safety. Others want to put the tragedy of derailment behind them and focus on the future. This is not the town that I remember.
Sure. Some people are sick.
They're sick. I mean, look at this. Their children in East Palestine. Wow. I'm sorry. I thought I had a video of J.D. Vance, but J.D. Vance went there today and I saw
some clips of him standing beside streams, and it was gross. I mean, you could see it like an oil slick or something in the water.
Yeah. And remember this. This is what happened here.
Yeah.
And think about how sad this is. Even on this program, we're guilty of it as well. We talk about, what about Maui? We'll say, what about LA? We'll say, what about North Carolina? And many times we'll forget to say, what about East Palestine? Because they were enduring
absolutely
the raw end of the deal from our government before any of these other cities were.
Right.
And who knows? Last year, a judge ordered Norfolk Southern to pay $600 million to residents of East Palestine and surrounding areas. I hope they get that money, but I'm not real excited that they will, because it's going to be appealed all the way. And
this large amount of money is going to the city.
Yeah, not to the people.
So I don't know what the individual can expect. I mean, I'm not saying that they won't see anything, but I don't know what they can expect to see. But
Norfolk Southern did not admit any wrongdoing under either settlement.
Wow.
There's where he went.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I think that was when he went as a senator.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was 23. So that's when he filmed it. He went there because nobody was doing anything in his state. Right. And he was showing this oil and this chemicals that was in the water that was leaking down into the water reserves.
Right. This
sad. So sad.
Vinyl chloride that became dioxin when it burned.
Yeah, when it burned, it made it worse. And they decided to just burn it all and blow it up.
Yeah. That was why it became so bad.
Yeah.
When they burned it.
Yeah, and people insinuated that they knew that. And it was just intentional. It's horrible. Another thing Donald Trump did today that I never knew existed before either was something called first ever United States Sovereign Wealth Fund. You ever heard of a Sovereign Wealth Fund?
Well, no, I haven't.
Apparently, this is something that other countries have, but we don't. But he established it today. Let's hear what it is.
This is an executive order. Discharges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American Sovereign Wealth Fund.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you're seeing that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth, people, my predecessors. We're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work, and I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices that's done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
The extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government and the business it does with companies should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together. I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir.
So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund, and I think in a short period of time we'd have one of the biggest funds, and some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of like the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund. And I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund. And these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely. And they'll be heading it up. And they're going to do a great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably.
All right. So I don't know what it is still. I'm a little confused over it. And I'm a little nervous about it. Because you're going to talk. What does that mean? We're going to put TikTok in there. And we go, and then this other dude's talking about, if we're going to buy 20,000 jabs.
We need our resident funds expert, Billy Mitchell, to explain it to everybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I ain't never heard no sovereign wealth fund. What does that mean?
I don't know, but XRP's up a little.
Are you checking crypto? Are you checking crypto XRP right there?
I'm just jumping in there for a second.
Sandy. It crashed last night.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit more of the Trump effect. And we got some supernatural AI updates about to come up, and y'all. Oh, in the midst of great things happening, there are some scary things happening.
Oh, okay, I love
scary things. You're my
favorite.
Yeah, you're gonna love these tonight that I got for you. But watch this. Remember, we pulled out of the World Health Organization, and guess what? Lo and behold, the World Health Organization now is begging for other nations to force Washington to reconsider the withdrawal.
How are you going to do that?
Exactly. How are you going to do that?
That's ridiculous.
Global leaders have been called on to force President Donald Trump to reverse his decision to withdraw U.S. taxpayer contributions to the WHO, a report Monday details. The UN's agency chief is predicting a catastrophic financial outcome if Trump goes ahead with his campaign promise to suspend funding and recall all U.S. government personnel working with the institution. AP reports that for the 04-25 budget, the U.S. was supposed to be the WHO's biggest donor by far, putting in an estimated $988 million, roughly 14% of the UN's agency's $6.9 billion budget. A budget document presented at a recent meeting showed WHO's health emergencies program has heavy reliance on American cash. So he's asking other countries, please do what you can do to help us, because the World Health Organization is going to go under if Trump don't give us money.
What's that guy's name right there?
Tedros. Old Tedros. Old Tedros. They call him. Look here. I think it's right here. It says, up to 2 bills would defund. The House of Representatives, House Foreign Affairs Committee is taking up 2 bills that would defund and withdraw from the World Health Organization. Let me see if I can see this. There's something else here about him. Yeah, it says, a petition is calling for the resignation of World Health Organization Tedros. That was good, wasn't it? It's nearly 1 million signatures. Oh, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus.
Okay.
Almost 1 million signatures are calling for his resignation.
Good.
But I don't think he'll resign. That's his money. What are you talking about? That's it. That's his legacy. So the world is saying, please don't leave us. Please don't leave us.
No, they're not saying please don't leave us. They're saying we're going to get some other countries to threaten you to come back. Yeah. Read the room. Read the room, sir. Hello.
Read the room.
Does it seem at all like that tactic's going to work right now?
Yeah, let's take a quick poll in the live chat.
Okay.
Will Trump bow to the pressures of others, telling him to reconsider
Exactly.
and send the money to the WHO? Can we get yes or no? Yes or no? Give us a quick yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sandy, more wonderful news on the big picture tonight. Bird flu has now entered a crisis level new phase. Oh, yes. Welcome to the new agenda of the World Economic Forum, because this could possibly be going towards the disease X. Dozens of newly confirmed cases of avian influenza in wild birds and the first verified U.S. case of a new strain of the virus are raising concern. The bird flu crisis may be entering a troubling new phase. While the developments don't necessarily raise the risk of a pandemic, they could create havoc for farmers, exacerbate egg shortages, and expose more gaps in government disease surveillance. How much is a dozen eggs now?
I know that they are around $7 in some states. I think they're
some people are saying $8.
At least at $5.
That's insane.
I'm going to say like right at $5. I haven't bought them in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but it seems like I tried to look at the price when I was at the store a couple of days ago, and I want to say $5. But, that would be among the lowest prices. I don't know what average is. Let me just say this. Anywhere outside of Walmart.
Gotcha. Okay. The Department of Agriculture last week confirmed 81 detections of a highly pathogenic avian flu in wild birds collected across 24 states from December 29th to January 17th. Wild birds can be affected and show no signs of illness, allowing them to spread the virus to new areas and potentially expose domestic poultry. Officials in Pennsylvania and New York have culled thousands of wild geese as well as commercial poultry flocks after detecting cases of the flu. If you look at what's happening in the last 8 weeks, the number of poultry operations have gone down. And more recently, the duck operations is absolutely stunning. The virus is being spread as wild birds commingle with birds in commercial poultry operations. Changes in migratory patterns may be worsening the issue in northern states, which now see certain wild birds stay for the winter because water sources aren't freezing. Of course, it is all because of climate change. Because of climate change, the birds are not leaving because the water's not freezing. And then, of course, climate change is causing the bird flu. I want to make it very clear that I am not saying that bird flu is not a thing. I am not saying it's not dangerous. I'm not saying that it's not spreading. It's not something that we should be concerned about. I am saying remember and don't forget what we went through.
Yes.
Because they want to do it again.
Well, I will say this. There's something going on. We've been hearing about it for weeks and months.
Yep.
A narrative is building in the background because you've heard it. It creeps its head up. It pops back down. It pops back up. They're working a story here, folks.
They're working a story.
They're working a story. They've been laying the groundwork. Come on. We're smarter than this, okay? We're smarter than that.
We're supposed to be. I know this audience is.
All right.
Hey, if you enjoyed it tonight, smash that like button. We far from through, but I just got thinking. Some of y'all ain't smashed the like button. I'm looking at the likes right now. Y'all need to smash the like button. Show some love. Share. Copy this link. Send it to some people that you know. Okay? Because that's what helps us more than anything. We appreciate all our partners. We thank you to all our partners that partners with us. Y'all, you guys are amazing. Partner through our website. Partner by clicking that join button down below the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube. And whatever you do to help us, we appreciate it. You can go to our website and you can send us something in the mail. We still get snail mail. Snail mail's still a thing.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes it's delivered. Sometimes it's not.
Coffee.
You can use Buy Me a Coffee. Yeah. You don't even drink coffee.
I do now.
Oh, you do? I don't ever see you drinking coffee. Is it full of creamer or is it actually coffee? Because now I can drink it. I can finally drink it black. I'm a real coffee drinker now, y'all. I have graduated. Now I don't always drink it black, but I can drink it black.
And we are so proud.
I'm proud of myself. Hey, you know what? You the one told me about this. You said, "Hey, did you hear about the earthquakes that are happening in Santorini?"
Yeah.
Santorini.
Can they please hold off? I was hoping that
we want to go one day.
Hope against hope that I might go one day.
One day. Emergency crews deployed as Santorini as earthquake swarm worries the Greek experts. Y'all, the world is shaking. It's the birth pains. Authorities deployed emergency rescue crews at Greece's volcanic island of Santorini on Monday as hundreds of people scrambled to leave after a spike of seismic activity raised concerns about a potentially powerful earthquake. Schools on 4 islands were also shuttered through Friday. Precautions are also ordered on nearby the Aegean Sea Islands, all popular summer vacation destinations after more than 200 undersea earthquakes were recorded in the area over the past few days. It's a very volatile area there for earthquakes, has been for years.
Well, it's there because of a volcano.
True.
It formed because of a volcano.
True, it did. So true. But y'all, those beautiful white buildings on top of the mountains.
So gorgeous.
I want to go one day and see them. I want to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's come to the time.
Come on now.
If I can find it, because I don't have it on my little thing, so I can push the button. Where is it at? Y'all know what's coming.
Where are you, little button?
Where is it?
If it doesn't work, we'll just have to sing it and say it. It's the supernatural. AI.
I've lost it.
Okay.
What's happening to your voice there?
Might be cracking a little.
Okay, here we go. Uncle Jimmy!
Come and save us!
It's the
supernatural AI
update. Thank you for that super chat, Beth K.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Wait a minute. You didn't replace Jesus with an alien. Where's the little Jesus? Bring him back too. We can't get rid of Jesus just because the aliens come. We need Jesus more than ever when the aliens come.
Jesus was taking a little break.
Yeah. Okay.
He got tired of this show.
Jesus may be smaller on the screen, but he's much bigger.
Oh! He wins again!
Yeah! Jesus! That was awesome. Yeah. All right, so look, Supernatural AI Update is a lot of us AI stuff. And tonight, looky here.
Looky here.
Let's watch this little video here where Jordan Peterson is telling us what he's been told about what's going on in China and how AI is being used to track you in every aspect of your life. Let's go.
So in China, for example, if a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has you. It has your blood now. It has your genetic code.
Thank you for that super chat.
Your photograph. It can identify how you walk. So even if you can't see your face, you can be picked up by gait. It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judiciary at all, and show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so they know that you have jaywalked, and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, then you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games. You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city. All that's already in place in China. So in China, for example, if a traffic camera...
That's been in place in China for a while.
Social credit scores, yes.
Social credit score. And now they have the ability to not only track you by your face, but by your walk.
By your gait.
The walk. Once they trigger you and know that's you.
Or if that doesn't work, they could use a bone scan.
Exactly. They have your DNA. He said in China, they already have your DNA. They already have your blood type. They already have all of your medical records.
This is like, I don't know if the worst movie you've ever seen is a good description, but all the terrible things that you would not want to happen to you. Okay, so here is your citation. So we just knocked your score down a couple, and we're gonna shame you in front of your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't even go to that vending machine and think you're gonna buy a drink. No way.
No drink for you.
No drink for you.
No drink for you.
Good grief.
Well, I'm on fire tonight.
You are?
Yeah, my.
Oh yeah, you're batting 1,000 on those.
Well, when I impersonations.
Impersonations.
That was the Soup Nazi. Did you know that?
Yeah, I got that one.
You got that one?
Did y'all get that?
Did y'all get the Soup Nazi? But this
Are we all so mystified you couldn't possibly figure out what that was?
This is the Coke Nazi. The Coca-Cola Nazi. No Coke for you. No Coke for you.
Was that a meshing of a Asian
Why is everything always
angry Asian and a Nazi? I don't know.
Every impression is Asian. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just can't. All right. So, but AI is helping a lot of people. And look, this is amazing what is being done. It is amazing what is being done to help paraplegic people, people that couldn't function in life. It is incredible. And we've seen the incredible demonstrations of Elon's, what's his brain? Neuralink. But we all know, as amazing as those things are, we know where it's going, right? We know where it's going. Yeah. So let's.
If things could only stay good instead of being militarized and weaponized against us.
Right. So I want you to watch this, and I'm going to play it, but I'm going to read this first. It says, the breakthrough brain implant and digital avatar allows Anne, who survived a stroke, to speak with facial expressions for the first time in 18 years. The technology decodes the signals in her brain and translates them into words, giving Anne a voice through a digital avatar. They turn these brain signals into text, speech, and facial expressions for the digital avatar. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that she is thinking the words.
Yes, I hear what you're saying. How
when you
does
see this
interpret her thoughts and supposedly get them all correct?
It's amazing. Let's listen.
And electrocorticography grid, which is attached to a pedestal, which is screwed onto the participant's skull. And is the very first person to have this combination.
I think you are wonderful.
Her facial muscles, and that's what we're able to decode into speech.
Hey Anne, how's it going?
It is good to see you.
I was thinking about running to the store.
What time will you be home?
In about an hour.
Do not make me laugh.
I mean, that's touching. That is so amazing that she has that.
It is.
Y'all, that's scary.
Why do I have a creep factor?
That's scary.
Because this is obviously wonderful.
It's wonderful
for this lady.
Yeah.
And where I don't know
and
who this
I
other
don't blame
person
you.
is, what he is to her. Okay, let's have a showing of hands out there if you're happy and creeped out at the same time. Because I don't want to take away the usefulness and the happiness of these people that are benefiting from this technology. Why does it creep us out so bad?
So Becky, I gotta respond to you, Becky. Larry, you should just be yourself. Becky, what do you mean? This is myself.
Stop your silly impersonation.
Do you want me to be more of myself, Becky? Is that what you're saying?
No, we can't take it anymore.
Do you want more of this, Becky? Because I can bring more.
Billy said he is being himself.
I could bring more. Y'all. Now, how many times have you watched a movie and thought, I want to watch this movie, but I want to hear the F word so much. I would, but
wait, what?
Wait, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
That's what I meant to say. Did I say I want to hear it?
That's what I.
That is not what I meant to say.
Okay.
I do not want to hear it. Yeah, that would be horrible. Pastor says he needs more F words.
That movie just didn't have enough F words. Okay.
No. How many times? Let's revive.
Okay.
How many times have you watched a movie and you thought, there's so many F words in this movie that I don't want to hear any of them, but there's so many that if I was to cut out every time they said the F word, I wouldn't even understand the movie. Well, here comes AI. AI has the answer, and this is coming, y'all. This is crazy.
And now we're stuck on this stupid... stupid freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere. And it's all my fault.
Es todo por mi culpa.
Now we're stuck on this stupid tower in the middle of nowhere.
And I don't blame you, and now we're stuck on this stupid freaking tower in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Oh my goodness.
It's the same video. AI applies filters.
And she looks like she's about to throw up.
She's just like, I wanted to say it so bad. But y'all, there's no editing. There's no post-editing. This is giving people the ability. It's called flawless AI. Lets you change the dialogue of a video and the lips sync absolutely perfectly to every word. So instead of subtitles in Spanish or subtitles in Japanese or Mandarin, you can just tell it to change the movie to that language. The mouth moves to your language and everything in the movie is now speaking your language. And it's not just like, remember the old Kung Fu movies where it go, yeah. You killed my mother.
Yeah.
Now. You will. Die.
That was awesome. Can you do that again?
Now. You will. Die. I remember those movies. It was so funny to watch that because it was just dubbed over. Now the technology is you don't even know it that it's happening.
Mike from around the world said this was coming.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm assuming she's caught up with this. I don't know, whatever. Basically, when you rent this movie, you just go in and adjust your settings.
You just adjust your settings. Just say, I don't want no F words, or I want more F words, or I want it to be in this language, I want it to be in that language.
Okay, so we had this software device or whatever where we could do that to
Curse-free TV.
Curse-free TV.
Yeah.
Now, if you were using
Curse-free TV would just go just mute it.
Okay, what was the technology where if we were using captioning and you were using
that was the same. That was Curse-free TV.
That at the same time.
It would still say the word on the screen.
I would laugh over each other.
I'd be like, I didn't hear it, but I saw it.
Oh my God. Oh.
Because old people have to have captioning.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there like me and her that we can't watch a movie or a show without captioning because we can't understand what anybody's saying? I seen one of the greatest memes. It was this woman in the kitchen, and she was our age, and she said, "This explains us watching a movie." And she's watching the movie, and it has subtitles, and she could hear it. It's like, "I want to go down to the store, and I'll be back soon." And she turns away to get a cup out of the cabinet. He goes, while she's looking at it, you can hear the sound. I'm going to go down to the store and get a drink. She turns away and goes, she jumps back around and goes, and I'm going to pick up some chips as well. And she turns over. It's just like, I'm like, you're right. I have no idea what they just said without captioning. But y'all, I got a couple more things to show you. Watch this right here. Watch this. Y'all aren't going to miss it because I'm going to end tonight by showing you a UFO. People are talking about UFOs underwater. They've moved from space to now more and more people are talking about them underwater. Don't go anywhere. But I need one more thing to freak you out here in the robot world here. And here we go back in China. China.
I love that.
China goes all in on robotics. And y'all, this is really scary. Yeah. Watch this.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Imagine weapons on that.
Exactly.
I mean, look at this. What in the world?
I'm thinking of Transformers. That reminded me of a Transformers.
Look, he's doing a jig on one leg.
So messed up.
That is crazy.
I can just hear that thing saying, "I'm going to come for you and your children.
Look at this.
I'm going to kill you. Unalive you."
I mean, he's in snow. He's in water. The snow ain't even slowing him down.
No. Yeah.
He's walking in the snow, y'all. Instead of he is walking sideways in the snow. Look at this.
It's so troubling.
And this is from China. Yeah. Wow. Well, there's a lot of talk about UFOs, a lot of talk about disclosure. I really do believe this is the year we're going to see a lot about disclosure. But isn't it interesting how more and more people, as the more and more they talk about UAPs and UFOs, they're not talking as much about space, or at least they're talking as much about underwater. Have you noticed how many are now admitting that a lot of these are coming up out of the water and going back in the water?
Oh my goodness! For the last year, more and more and more.
Yeah. So
USOs.
USOs. So this is an article, and then I'm going to show you a video. A flooded quarry, a mysterious millionaire, and the dreams of a new Atlantis. An innovative mission on the Welsh border, funded by an anonymous private investor, has begun work to create a permanent human settlement under the sea. It's called Seascape. The reason I'm putting this in here is because it's like everybody's going underground, and now everybody's talking about going underwater. Why all of a sudden are we talking about underwater?
Right. Okay.
For so long, we was talking about we got to get out of here, and all the movies where we got to go to Mars. But now people are saying we got to go underground. We got to go underwater. Down easy to miss turnoff of A48 just outside of Chepstow on the Welsh border, the gentle rumble of trucks, cranes, and people are at work mixing with birdsong in an otherwise peaceful rural setting. And it is a crisp, sunny winter morning as I went to visit, blah, blah, blah. They've come together with a single mission, and that is to make humans aquatic. The project is called Deep, not The Deep. And on the site was chosen after a global search for the perfect location to build and test an underwater accommodation, which the project founders say will enable them to establish a permanent human presence under the sea starting in 2027.
Are we talking off the coast of England?
But the Welsh Islands. Let me go back. It said, what do we start with here? Off the Welsh border.
Where is this?
I mean, that's the UK, right? The Welsh border. I think that's somewhere in Europe. We should know that. Why do we not know that? But look, these are the deep diving submarines there. The 50-acre site.
Gloucestershire.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So I got one more thing to show you, and it is worth a wait. It is a video that is called Alien Mysteries Shift from Space to Sea. And we have a movie that we covered last week, remember, that's coming out, UFO Disclosure.
Yes.
So it's getting ready, y'all. We're about to be inundated.
Is it March?
March is coming out. We are about to be inundated with UFO stuff.
Right.
I believe that. And I'm going to show you that in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are. We are certainly awake. And you can also smash that like button and show us some love. We appreciate it so, so much. All right, so let's go right here to this article here, this video from WION, whatever that is. And we're going to watch it. It's about 2.5 minutes. It's called Underwater UFOs. Alien Mysteries Shift from Space to Sea. Uh-oh. Why is it not playing? Oh, I know why. Hang on.
But humanity's fascination with extraterrestrial life continues to fuel debate, but a surprising theory is making waves literally. Now, a U.S. congressman claims that aliens might not be lurking in outer space, but rather under the ocean.
Starlight dancing across the infinite darkness of space tantalizingly hints at endless cosmic mysteries. Billions of galaxies sparkle with untold worlds, each potentially harboring alien civilizations that are beyond human comprehension. Yet humanity's relentless search for extraterrestrial life might have answers, hiding not in distant star systems, but deep beneath our own planet's oceanic realms. U.S. Congressional Representative Tim Burchett boldly challenges the traditional alien hunting paradigms, suggesting that underwater alien craft are moving at speeds that defy known physics. According to Burchett, an unnamed admiral has witnessed extraordinary underwater phenomena that challenge our understanding of technological possibility. The idea of aliens beneath the ocean adds a fascinating twist to the ongoing UFO debate. For years, sightings of unidentified flying objects have puzzled scientists and policymakers alike.
We got ran out.
Once dismissed as conspiracy theories, they are now a subject of serious congressional inquiry. However, the Pentagon remains skeptical. A March 2024 report reiterated that most UFO sightings could be explained by mundane causes, such as weather balloons, satellites, or spy planes. Claims made at a 2023 congressional hearing by a former Air Force intelligence officer who alleged that the US had recovered crashed alien craft and non-human origin were also firmly denied. But while scientific consensus remains elusive, the congressman's underwater alien hypothesis adds a provocative new dimension to humanity's age-old quest for cosmic companionship. The ocean, covering 71% of our planet's surface, is one of the least explored frontiers.
Yes.
A potential sanctuary for extraordinary secrets that challenge our understanding of life itself alike.
Now, one of the things that he said, that Congressman said, and we covered it last week too, and he's in the new movie that's coming out that we talked about, is that he has been told that they are underwater crafts operating 100 times the speed of anything that we have or more, and that many of them are larger than a football field, several football fields, and they're traveling.
I've heard this, of course, but just thinking about that, trying to process that, that's cray-cray, right?
This show's been cray-cray tonight.
You've been cray-cray tonight.
Y'all, I've jacked up on coffee!
Woo! I'm just coming down off my albuterol. Mm-hmm.
Are we both just jacked up tonight? We are not on anything, y'all. We're just kidding. We are just old people that like to have fun with our big picture family because there's nothing like it getting here on Monday night. Monday nights are awesome.
Absolutely.
TGIM, baby.
Yeah.
TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. If you hadn't smashed that like button, smash it now. Show us some love. Share this broadcast. Let's grow the big picture family.
Yes.
This is a year where it all goes down. I'm telling you, this is the crazy year of all years of our life. It has only just begun. And we always want to remind you that we ain't woke.
Nope.
But we are certainly
awake.
God bless you.
Good night.